The cuts to the National Weather Service that you've heard about are, I think, worse than you could possibly imagine. I'm meteorologist Todd Gross, and I wanted to discuss for a moment a misconception about what's going on. So, the main thing that you've seen cut over the past couple of weeks are the launches and future launches of weather balloons daily or twice per day. And basically, these are in many cities such as Albany and in Maine and in Rapid City, South Dakota, Omaha, Nebraska, Alaska. When you don't launch the weather balloons, it doesn't have to do with the weather in those particular cities. The weather balloons that go up are actually part of the numerical modeling of the atmosphere, which is basically the backbone of all the weather forecasts that you ever see as you move forward in time. So it affects more so the computer models themselves that you've seen me highlight and so many others on the internet and on television. These computer models are what tell us what's going to happen in the future. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, you never get it right anyway, and stuff like that, which is a bunch of baloney. We could now actually sometimes forecast as much as a week in advance. An example, remember I entered that contest on when that dragon was going to drop through the lake in central Massachusetts near Worcester, and I entered that contest. I actually put March 14th down as one of the days that I picked, and I picked a specific time. And the reason I did that was because I knew from the long-range models that in about 2 weeks there would be a second rainstorm with a warm-up. I wasn't sure about that. Those models change, as I pointed out, but it sure looked like there was going to be a warm-up right around that period of time. Well, guess what? I won that contest. Number one. I actually have a check in the mail waiting for me because I won that contest. I said it would happen at 5:30 in the evening on the 14th of March, and the dragon fell into the lake at 6:05 p.m. on the 14th of March, and I made that guess. It was obviously there was a few guesses I made, but I did that on February 28th, 2 weeks in advance. The point is, the forecasts have gotten remarkable compared to where they were. So if you don't like how the weather forecasts are now, you should have lived back in the 70s or 60s when we were only able to forecast 2 days in advance, if that. I mean, the second day was always a real crapshoot, the 48-hour forecast. We only really had a good feel for the next day, and that's back in the 60s. So that's where weather could be heading back to. We're going to be heading back decades if these weather balloons continue to be disrupted. So I just wanted to explain the importance of what happens when they launch the balloons, has the instrumentation on the balloons, tells you the temperature, the humidity, the barometric pressure aloft at upper levels. That's fed into the computer models. It gives you a model of the initial state of the atmosphere, and then it projects out from there what's going to happen in, of course, days to come. And that's what's going to suffer. Now, there's other things that will also suffer. There's radars being taken down, which affects the severe weather forecasts, etc. But I just wanted to clear up that misconception. When you take out a weather balloon in, let's say, Omaha, Nebraska, that affects the entire world in terms of the circulation that's projected down the road. The butterfly effect. I'm meteorologist Todd Gross.